Olá, Brasil! Eu sou o James O'Keefe, fundador do Project Veritas, uma organização de jornalismo investigativo. James O'Keefe, Project Veritas here. Sorry I couldn't be in Brazil. I love Brazil, I love the Brazilian people. One of my communications colleagues is from Brazil, and I appreciate you guys sharing the tapes. Let's go right to it. Project Veritas, be brave, do something. And the biggest story of the year, Charlie Chester, CNN. Let's listen to what he said about his network being a propaganda network.
We were creating a story there that we didn't know anything about. So that's I think that's propaganda.
Look what we did. We got Trump out. I am 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe it, that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got voted out.
Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
Do you think it's going to be just like a lot of fear, climate?
Yeah, fear sells. COVID, gangbusters of ratings. Gangbusters of ratings, right? Which is why we constantly have a death toll on the side. Let's make it higher. Why isn't it high enough, today? It would make our point better if it was higher.
We've also called CNN's CEO, Jeff Zucker, informed him that we were recording him for 2 months.
You're unmuted.
Hey, Jeff Zucker, are you there? Hey,
yes.
This is James O'Keefe. We've been listening to your CNN calls for basically 2 months, recording everything. Just wanted to ask you some questions if you have a minute. Do you still feel you're the most trusted name in news? Because I have to say, from what I've been hearing on these phone calls, I don't know about that. I mean, we got a lot of recordings that indicate you're not really that independent of a journalist.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. So everybody, in light of that, I think what we'll do is we'll set up a new system.
One of the recordings we obtained was senior vice president of CNN bemoaning that Cubans support Trump.
Trump has used the communism, socialism rhetoric as part of his hook for the Cubans in Miami. How that has resonated and how the Biden team has not done enough to counter that. This is all that the only reason they are supporting Trump is because of that narrative. And that narrative and the fact that, sadly, I have to say, there's a population that is very attracted to bullies, and no one is countering it properly. In Florida, the Cubans are going to vote for Trump, and that's terrifying. And so I think that there is a way to counter the narrative in Florida that is not being taken advantage of.
We've also caught communists on tape for the Bernie Sanders campaign talking about how great gulags are.
There's a reason Joseph Stalin had gulags, right? Mm-hmm. And actually gulags were a lot better than what the CIA has told us that they were. People were actually paid a living wage in gulags. They had conjugal visits in gulags. Gulags were actually meant for re-education. It was for enemies of the state to learn how to not be enemies of the state and to learn the value of a hard day's work, right?
In fact, he bears an uncanny resemblance to one of the founders of communism, and he doesn't much like me. Imagine that.
Project Veritas.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a special place in hell reserved for him.
One of the things about these people is that they have no rules. Anything goes, winning at any cost. Let's listen to this man, Colorado chairman of All Revolution, describe the extent he will go in the election to win.
2020 is a political revolution. I am going to do everything morally acceptable to win. I will lie, I will cheat, I will steal, because that's morally acceptable in this political environment.
I asked him about it. Why do you think that's morally acceptable in this environment, to lie, cheat, and steal?
Yes, I will lie to people who lie to us. I will cheat people who cheat us. And I stand by everything that I said.
And I asked him what type of cheating he'd be doing in the election.
How do you cheat? What type of cheating are we going to be doing in this election?
I can't answer that question.
One of our colleagues came up to Ocasio-Cortez after CNN aired a puff piece, which was leaked to us. We went to go talk to Ocasio-Cortez. She was not very happy to see us.
I did. I drove 1 hour just to let you know that I am a journalist with Project Veritas.
Oh.
Got him! Got him!
Do you even live in the Bronx? Because we investigated that. When an elected representative hides behind her fame, Project Veritas, we expose everyone, sir.
We also spoke with tech executives, Jen Janai at Google, who described her mission was to, quote, prevent the next Trump situation.
Elizabeth Warren is saying that we should break up Google. And I love her, but she's very misguided. That will not make it better, it'll make it worse, because now all these smaller companies who don't have the same resources that we do will be charged with preventing the next Trump situation.
This Twitter executive talked about the idea of a shadow ban.
One strategy is to shadow ban so that you have ultimate control. The idea of a shadow ban is that you ban someone, but they don't know they've been banned because they keep posting, but no one sees their content. So they just think that no one's engaging with their content, when in reality, no one's seeing it.
And we've caught Mark Zuckerberg on tape talking about needing to help Biden with many of his initiatives.
In his first day, President Biden already issued a number of executive orders on areas that we as a company really care quite deeply about and have for some time. Areas like immigration, preserving DACA, and ending restrictions on travel from Muslim-majority countries, as well as other executive orders on climate and advancing racial justice and equity. And I think that these were all important and positive steps.
I'm very grateful for your support, and I think you're a great country. I think you've got some great people, and I look to expanding Project Veritas into Brazil very soon to expose corruption in your own home turf. Thank you very much.